Having grown up in Fort Collins, moving away, and then moving back to the area, it's hard to remember why I ever left. In today's video, I'm going to go over the top 10 things I absolutely love about this city. So whether you're thinking about moving here or maybe you're just curious what Fort Collins is like, stay tuned. And don't forget to like and subscribe for upcoming videos, all things Fort Collins. Let's get into it. While Fort Collins is by no means a big melting pot, it does have an incredible mix of small town warmth and creative energy. You'll find local art on almost every corner, street performers performing in Old Town, and a community that truly supports local businesses and comes together to make sure they can thrive. Beyond that, if you're from a big city or maybe a different region of the US, you'll notice a super strong kindness culture here. Everyone from your checkout clerk to strangers on the street will wave, smile, and ask how you're doing. After having lived in California for 7 years and relocating back to the area, I almost forgot how kind and friendly the culture here is in Fort Collins. So if you're looking for that kind of culture, it's here, you found it, and you'll have to experience it for yourself. So number 2 is the proximity to the mountains. One of the best things about living in Fort Collins is how close you are to all the mountain adventures. While the ski resorts may be a bit of a drive away, the foothills are only minutes away. Some of Colorado's largest mountains are within an hour's drive, which makes Fort Collins the perfect place for all things outdoors. Many people in the area like to hike, camp, mountain bike, fly fish, rock climb, cross-country ski, snowshoe, or just catch an incredible mountain sunset. It's all in your backyard here in Fort Collins. Comment below with your favorite thing to do in the mountains. I am a huge cyclist myself. I mountain bike all the time in the summer, as well as take advantage of many of the ski resorts here in Colorado. Okay, so number 3 is the downtown Fort Collins. Now, I'm sure you've heard me talk about downtown and you're like, Eileen, what the heck is the deal with the downtown? Like, what makes it so special? But the downtown in Fort Collins is truly the heartbeat of the city. It's walkable, it's vibrant. There are local shops, craft breweries, festivals, concerts, and some of the best restaurants in Northern Colorado. There's fun for everybody from young to old. If you're single, you have a family, there's something for everybody. You'll have to come check it out yourself. Just another fun fact about the downtown of Fort Collins, it actually inspired the Main Street in Disneyland. So that's how cool it is. Come check it out for yourself and make sure you check out my upcoming video on all of the downtown activities that Fort Collins offers. Moving on, number 4 is the bike paths. Fort Collins is one of the most bike-friendly cities in the United States. So it makes sense that this is one of my favorite things about this city. Many of Fort Collins residents take advantage of the 285 miles of bike lanes, trails, and bike paths. Anywhere from going downtown to the foothills. You can ride to breweries, parks, or your favorite coffee shop without ever getting in a car. It's part of the culture here. Many people are very active, outdoorsy, and it provides a sustainable way to get around the city. You can even ride from Fort Collins to many of the surrounding cities, including Loveland, Windsor, and Greeley, without getting on any major roads. It allows residents here to stay fit, stay safe, and get to local conveniences without having to get in their cars. So if you're looking for a bike-friendly town with lots of safe ways to get around the city, Fort Collins is it. Okay, so my 5th favorite thing about Fort Collins is the amount of sunshine we get here. Fort Collins gets over 300 days of sunshine a year. A lot of people have this preconceived notion that Colorado winters are really brutal, cold, and snowy. While we do get snowstorms from time to time, and they can pile up to anywhere from 12 to 24 inches, the storms blow through very quickly in the winter and the sun comes out almost immediately. Fort Collins and Colorado in general do not fall into that. We get so much sunshine here. It allows people to be active all year long, which is great. You don't have to hunker down in the wintertime. There are plenty of wintertime activities. People snowshoe, they cross-country ski, they backcountry ski, and they are free to, go on walks and things like that. It's not uncommon here to carry on activities all year long. If that's something that you're interested in and the cold doesn't bother you that much, then Fort Collins just might be the place for you. Okay, so number 6 on the list of my favorite things about Fort Collins is the events and festivals. The amount of events that Fort Collins puts on is almost overwhelming. Sometimes it's hard to choose which one you want to attend. The city makes a huge effort to build community and promote inclusivity by hosting events, concerts, festivals, and parades. Fort Collins really knows how to celebrate pretty much any occasion. The residents of Fort Collins really live for these festivals. They love partaking, participating, building connection, and love the outreach that these events provide. So number 7 is the 4 seasons. I personally love that we get to experience all 4 seasons here without any of them feeling too extreme in any way. The winters here are fairly mild and sunny, and though we do get snow along the Front Range, it tends to melt quick and doesn't really linger. As I had mentioned before, it's fairly common for people to continue their outdoor activities and favorite hobbies all year long. It's very typical to be able to mountain bike, hike, and golf during the winter time here. The spring in Fort Collins brings beautiful wildflowers and much appreciated warmer temps. The spring is definitely one of my favorite seasons here in Fort Collins. After a long winter, I am more than ready for warmer temperatures and to throw on some flip-flops and shorts. The spring season here is absolutely beautiful. I really enjoy it, but I did want to let everybody know there are a couple of caveats with our spring. We tend to get something called Chinook winds, which are pretty intense winds that come off the Rocky Mountains, down the Front Range, and into the city. These winds can be so strong they can cause damage to homes via breaking branches on trees, downing trees, things like that. Just keeping that in mind. If you don't like the wind, you might have to bear through it for just our spring season. It does tend to go away in the mid to late summer, but the springs here can be very windy. With the wind, it tends to blow up things like pollen and dust pretty severely. If you are somebody with allergies, you definitely might struggle here. If you're somebody who doesn't have any allergies, you still might experience them here. So I've seen both sides of it, where people who have never had allergies move to Fort Collins and suddenly they have allergies. The summers here are fairly mild and dry, very low humidity with the occasional days in the triple digits, but for the most part, nothing too extreme. The fall here does bring cooler, crisp temps, which are somewhat welcome, and the colors here are absolutely breathtaking. Colorado aspens are truly unbelievable. If you haven't seen them in person, I highly recommend it. They will take over entire mountainsides in the mountain towns, and even here in the city, we have so many different trees. We have maples and oaks and honey locusts, aspens kind of sprinkled throughout. So the town itself just turns this bright, vibrant palette of colors. It is truly spectacular. It almost feels like you're in Vermont. If you've never seen it, I highly suggest checking out the aspens. I look forward to it every year. So the weather here is a really nice balance for anybody who wants a variety of weather in their outdoor lifestyle. If you're wanting something more consistent, warmer weather kind of all year long, this probably isn't the place for you. It can differ dramatically from other cities nearby. So if you are thinking about moving here and maybe have a friend who lives in Denver, our winter season, for example, is noticeably different up north here. My number 8 favorite thing about Fort Collins is the peacefulness and safety of the area. According to a study in 2023, Fort Collins was ranked the most peaceful city among U.S. cities. In this study, they looked at the ambient noise level as well as the percentage of residents within a 10-minute walk to outdoor space or a park, which in Fort Collins is about 73%. We do love our parks out here and open spaces, and we do in Fort Collins have 7 larger community parks, 42 neighborhood parks, and roughly 52 conserved natural areas, which means pretty much no matter where you're at in Fort Collins, you'll more than likely be near a designated open space. So this allows you to take advantage of that, relax, and enjoy some peace and quiet. Fort Collins also ranks among the safest cities in Colorado to live. People really look out for each other. It's a place where neighbors wave, kids play on the streets, and you can feel comfortable walking downtown or exploring anywhere in the city any time of day. We have very well-lit, clean streets and fairly low crime rates compared to other cities in the state. Our crime rate has also been decreasing over the last 7 years. Our police department is fantastic. They have multiple programs put into place to create a safer environment for everybody who lives here. So the residents here really look out for each other. I think with just such a strong community here in Fort Collins, it just doesn't allow for a lot of crime. It doesn't invite it into the city with people always looking out for each other, things like that. If you're looking for a very peaceful town with a very safe feel, Fort Collins is definitely it. Number 9 is the local food and craft beer scene here. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I talk about our craft brew scene here quite a bit. And that's just because Fort Collins is known as the craft brew capital of Colorado, and even more famously known nationwide for our microbreweries. The city is home to larger breweries such as New Belgium and Odell's, and over 20 small local breweries. If you are a beer connoisseur, you definitely need to check it out. Pair that with locally owned restaurants, food trucks, and farm-to-table dining, and you'll never really run out of restaurants to try. There are a handful of good restaurants in pretty much any genre of food. If you are craving Mexican, Italian, Thai, or Indian, while there may not be an expansive amount of restaurants, you definitely have a handful of good culinary restaurants that will fit the bill for whatever you're looking for. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Again, we're not known for our food here in Fort Collins, but I think that our food scene here in the city has plenty to offer, plenty of options, no matter what you're in the mood for. Last but not least is the work-life balance. Fort Collins is such an easygoing town where people really can do what they like, and there's no extreme hustle culture, like keeping up with the Joneses, which I've experienced in other areas of the country. Fort Collins is relaxed but adventurous. The work-life balance actually feels real. You'll find people going for a hike in the morning, working remotely at a coffee shop by the afternoon, and heading downtown with friends or family for some live music or a bite to eat in the evening. Fort Collins is such an easygoing town where people really can do what they like, and there's no real feeling of this extreme hustle culture. It's so relaxed and adventurous here. The work-life balance feels real. You'll find people hiking in the morning, working remotely at a coffee shop in the afternoon, or meeting friends and family in the evening for live music or a bite to eat. People's conversations here tend to be more about all the cool stuff they did and less about what you do for work or how much money you make. I love this because although work is typically a big part of people's lives, it's not what defines them as a person. People are much more interested in what you did over the weekend or how your family is, and genuinely care about your life outside of your job title or where you're at on the corporate ladder. So it's been truly a relief for me, as well, I'm sure, as many other people, having lived in an area where you were defined on how much money you made and pretty much nothing else. So coming back home and being appreciated and seen for all of my other accomplishments and aspects of my life is so nice. I absolutely love the work-life balance Fort Collins provides, and I've missed it greatly. All right, so there you have it, the 10 things I love most about Fort Collins, from the sunshine to the bike paths, from our incredible community to the magic of downtown. This city has a way of winning your heart. So if you're thinking about moving to Northern Colorado and Fort Collins, I'd love to help you find the perfect home. If you are thinking about making the move to Northern Colorado or Fort Collins, me and my team would love to help you buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the area. My contact information is in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos, all things Fort Collins, and let me know in the comments what makes Fort Collins special to you. Thanks again for watching. I'm Eileen, and we'll see you on the next video.